And we live. Salute. What's good? Do the sound check real quick. Let me see how this fucking sound. What was it taking so goddamn? Hold on. All right. We good. All right. So welcome. This is. I'm gonna try to do this in one part, but not make it too long. But as much detail as possible. So, in light of recent events, I figured I would share an experience. An experience it was um, for a little while. Right? So anyway, after shit, I don't even want to say after because it wasn't right after. Um, During the process of the divorce, so through the separation into the divorce becoming final, I didn't want to be in any type of traditional relationship, right? Like we together, it's just me and you, da da. Didn't want to be in nothing remotely similar, none of that shit. Didn't want it, get it the fuck out of here. Didn't want nothing to do with it. Right? I made that clear with any and every fucking body, straight off the bat. So, but anyway, I was, let's start at the beginning. I was stuck. It was an accident on 64. And back then, before they widened and added the extra lanes, every time it was a fucking accident on 64. An accident in Virginia in general, the traffic just comes to a goddamn stop because the fucking police holds up every fucking body. Right? Not like other places where they just have you go around and shit. Just traffic just be stopped. Right? So sitting in the car listening to music or some shit. I don't even remember what the fuck I was listening to. But right next to me, it was a car similar to mine, but a different color than mine. I was driving a Charger at that particular time. There's a car on the left hand side of me, similar color as mine. Da, da. So the person who was driving blew the horn, rolled down the window. Was two people in the car, two females in the car. The young lady who was in the passenger side was relaying messages to me from what the driver was saying. So anyway, make a long story short, and the fat girl skinny, me and the young lady who was driving exchanged phone numbers sitting in traffic. After traffic started rolling, um, called called me. Why the fuck is the damn? That was weird. Called me. We got off at the next exit, like right before the Busch Garden shit, or it might have been at Busch Gardens. I don't remember. Anyway, we pulled off at the exit, chop it up a couple of times. She lived in not on this side, but all the way on the other side. She lived in Richmond somewhere. Anyway, we talked and shit. We met up later, had dinner. She was she was a school teacher, something like that. School teacher, assistant teacher. She worked at the fucking school. Assistant principal. My bad. She was an assistant principal. So during this particular time, as we had these conversations about how I felt about relationships in general at this time in my life, from being in a relationship as an adult for so long, I didn't want to jump back in and get in anybody's relationship, right? So she was on that type of time, which surprisingly, more often than not, men would be very, very surprised. More often than not, 85% at that particular time during those course of years of my life, and even still today, but more so back then because of the let's just say the dynamic that I wanted the relationship to be, right? The form of the relationship to be. More often than not, it was never an issue. Anyway, so as time go on and we kicking it, she brings up to me that the other female that was in the car is a member of this group, right? And I'm like, group? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? What, fuck, a rap group? Like, what, like, what the fuck are you talking about? Member of a group? Like, what the fuck going on? What the fuck? So she explained it to me, showed me the website, the form you got to fill out. Yeah, it's a form. The form you got to fill out because primarily in these particular groups, it only supposed to be people, only supposed to be, I don't even want to say husband and wife necessarily, but couples. Like you can't be a member and be a part of the group and come empty handed. It's like being part of a potluck and showing up and you ain't got no dish with you. Like you ain't even got the fucking drinks. Right? Even though they do allow somewhat, like if it was previous members and those members are not um involved, those members can pay a fee to still attend. But I'll get to that part in a little bit. So anyway, look on the website, fill out the form. We schedule a meet with the couple and the couple's friends who are the founders that run this thing. Now, surprising to me, or what I didn't know at the time as all this was going on, that I don't even think that she was aware of, is how big the group was and how many people was actually involved in this group all around the United States. But anyway, we meet with the people. We have like brunch or some shit on where the fuck was I? In Charlotte. We had brunch in like Charlotte or something. Met with the people. Sam chopped it up. They was cool. I mean, it was cool. We talked. Da, da. They was explaining some things that became clear once I attended the first event. But anyway, we get through that part of it. Now, for anybody just joining the group, joining those types of groups. It's at least this particular group. I can't speak for all groups. Only seen, I've only been a part of one and only been around another one. Well, knew some people that was a part of another one. And it was kind of similar, kind of the same, except for the other one was a more diverse group. This particular group was black and brown people. Other group was more diverse, all different types of people. This other group was pretty much just black and brown people that had a few dollars, right? Not wealthy, not elite status, but people who had a few dollars that could do some shit, that could go where they wanted to go, could do what the fuck they wanted to do in some form of capacity, however they wanted to do it, right? But back to my point. When you first join or become a member or get accepted, you don't get to just go to an event. You don't get to just go to a party. Don't work like that. They have scheduled meet and greets, as they call them, for people to get acquainted with each other. It could be movies and dinner after. It could be fucking bowling. It could be whatever the hell it is on our itinerary. The people go. People that are members of the group go. And whatever place they having it in at that particular time, if you only can go to the ones where you stay when they happen, cool, but you have to attend at least a few of those before you have or get to go to the show, the big show, before you get to walk through the door, right? A lot of cool people, a lot of everyday people, a lot of people that I think a lot of times uh when people hear about that particular lifestyle, they look at it through the lens of maybe what they have saw on TV or how they process a relationship should be and what they wouldn't be that thing that they do work, right? In the way that those people look at it, because they look at the act totally different than anybody else does. So anyway, went to like three, maybe four of the meet and greets. Really, really dope, really cool people. You know what I mean? But it's a few things that I noticed at these meet and greets. It's a few things I noticed. Looking around and paying attention to the women who's there. Is I'm looking at it like this is not really a fair exchange. In my mind, this is what I'm thinking. Like this ain't a fair exchange. But whatever, cool. This was introduced to me. This person want to do. It's not like this is. I mean, this is not like this is that situation. But it is scheduled for us to go to our first event party, which was, I want to say it might have been in the winter. It had been in wintertime at this big ass fucking mansion. Really, really nice fucking mansion. They had security, which was pretty dope. They had security. Um, they had a itinerary on how the for the newbies, um, for the people who was there who was new. But every single one you go to, the rules are spoken on. I'll get to that part in a minute. But they got food. They had a chef um, cooking food, and in the room that was called the ironically that was called the playroom, but it wasn't no touching allowed in there. Just you talk, you could eat, but there was no touching. And when you first get there, it's none of that anyway. Eat, people talk. Um, then after that portion is over, after everybody eat, talk or whatever, in that room, and that room is always considered that room, that particular room, that particular space. Somebody is in that space even after it starts. The person is in that space. That pretty much mean that. I mean, you can holler at them. You can be like, "Hey, yo," but you can't. Ain't no other shit going on. So it reaches the point where it's time for the shit to stop. And oh shit. And they had a fucking DJ. So DJ says the men separates from the women. So the women go to one area with the founder's wife. The men go to another area with the founder's husband and some other security. Go, everybody stand there, reads off, not reads, but tells the rules for the evening, how the rules work, uh, what what happens in each room. Um, Told about the playroom that in my mind I always labeled it because it didn't make sense for me for it to be called the playroom if ain't nobody playing in the room. So in my mind, I always just labeled it as the safe room. But anyway, it breaks down the rules with the security standing there. It was one particular room designated for just fantasy. Um, those people get 10, 15 minutes in that room uninterrupted so nobody can go in the room, watch, blah, blah, blah. It's just those people and whatever fucking fantasy they wanted to do, whatever, whatever. Right? Because it could be some private shit that they don't want anybody to know what the fuck going on. Because the next rule was the number one rule that was spoken in there was you had this is not this is the other part that I don't think people get. And again, I'm not saying this is true for all, but this particular one, and this was a pretty big one, and the other one that I probably talk about at a later date is very keen on you have to you can't just walk up to people, put your hands on them. You can't do none of that. It's all about asking for permission, people feeling safe, so on and so on and so on. Right? If a man is interested in somebody's person or the person that that person came with, he has to ask the man to see if it's okay to have that conversation with the person that he's with. Same thing for the woman. Woman is interested in doing something with a male that's there. She has to talk to the female, relay that message to the male, and then proceed. Next rule is even if it's the person that you with, everybody has to use protection. Don't use protection, you're out of there, can't come back. You ain't part of the group. Doesn't matter if you're just dealing with. the person you with, because there was plenty of people there that didn't engage in activity with other people, just the person that they was with because they was cool with people watching this shit. Second part of that was it was made clear um, that it was no outside of whatever went on in people's fantasy segments, that it wouldn't be any any at all outside of the women. Dude made this very clear, which I don't know why he thought he needed to make it clear, but I was kind of glad he made it clear that it would be no men trying to do whatever with men. If you're on that type of time, then this might not be the group or the type of atmosphere of the party. With the women, it was a little different. But as far as the men, that's what the men was told. The last thing, one of the last things, because it's something else I'm missing, but I know one of the last things was why if you are a person who likes to spectate, you can't be while people are doing whatever the fuck they doing, you can't be all up on them. You can't be too close. So the rooms are big as hell. So you could be in the room. You could be on the other bed, but you can't be on the bed that they on, standing next to them. If those people over there then agreed to do whatever the fuck they doing, and you want to watch them, you need to watch the fuck from over there. Then huddle breaks. Everybody goes back to the initial play, and that's where the congregate people start to congregate and pair up and make whatever decision that they're going to make about who's doing what, who's picking who's doing whatever. For me, to keep it all the way filthy, all the way a dollar, all the way a bean, as I said, leading into this, it wasn't a fair exchange. I didn't see a lot. Now, because the whole reason why this even happened in the first place, whole reason why, and I almost left this out. I don't know how, but how we got here in the first place, how this even became a thing, how the group even became a thing. Earlier in this, I said when I met the particular person, she was in a vehicle with another female, and that female was part of the group or whatever. Died. The young lady who I was speaking with, she wanted to she wanted to watch me and Shorty, which was cool, but I had caveats to that. Like I had a thing with that because I mean y'all cool and shit. Shit could be messy, even though we not this, but that could be. You know what I mean? But that's how we got there. So that was the main reason why this even happened in the first place. But it became a thing because to be honest, outside of what everybody would consider the freaky shit, some really cool people, some really polished and successful people there, some notable relationships that you talking doctors, lawyers, teachers, politicians, fucking minor league baseball player. Fucking, I can go on and on and on and on and name people. Especially in this particular area. Outside of the area, I didn't meet too many people. In Cincinnati, I did. Erie, Pennsylvania, I did. Kentucky, I did. As I'm naming, I guess I did. A lot of people. Kentucky, I did. Um, West Virginia, I did. Yeah, West Virginia. Um, Chicago. I didn't go to the one in Atlanta. Sugarland, another one. Um, I met some people that some cool fucking people. But and when y'all hear this, some of y'all heard me say this before. What I realized during the short period of time that I was involved in going to these things, and outside of that, I didn't do too much more of anything, except for being there to do that with that particular person. But what I realized over the course of time, the 2 years or so, year and a half, something like that, of being a part of that shit, is for those people, for all those people that participate in that particular lifestyle, at least those people in that group. Can't speak for everybody because I don't know everybody that that's a part of it because it's different. It's different. It's different types. Like everybody doesn't do it the same. Like the way people that join those groups decide to do what they do in that particular lifestyle is different with a couple that just decides to swap with another couple, and that's even done different. Like they portray those things on movies and TV, whether it be in a comedic way or whether it be in whatever way that they want to push the narrative, way different than it really is. For one, you would never know unless you on that type of time if somebody else is on that type of time. You're not going to know. They're not going to randomly, a couple is not randomly going to try you out unless they believe you. Now, a single woman, yeah, that's going to happen more often than not. A couple are more often than not going to try a single woman, but another couple, not happen, not going to happen. That is not going to be introduced to another couple unless they know you on that type of time. Not happen. Anyway, what I realized because it was shit bothering because I just wasn't understanding. There was other place I went to where it was like, all right, I can get with this. This worth it. I mean, because it was like sometimes like dude would come up and ask me like, yeah, yo, can I? Yeah, go ahead. Like, where you joining? And I'm looking like this ain't a fair exchange. This ain't fair. It's like I brought a fucking. I brought a full course meal, and you offering me a happy meal. I don't want a happy meal. No, I'm not cool with the happy meal. I'm not cool with the entree you offering me. I'm not cool with that. So I'm supposed to keep passing on. Now, granted, it's not mine, but still, it's the principle of it. Like mentally, I just couldn't wrap my brain around it to understand it. But what I realized for those people, for every last one of them, their mindset, mm, y'all hear this, y'all didn't heard me say this before, that shit is just an activity. Like dead ass, just an activity. It is no different than no different than playing cards with the fucking neighbor to them. It's no that and that's and this is in hindsight after I was done and that was over. Um, and even went back one other time with one other person, but that's another story for another day. But truly to them, it's not even. No, I don't want to say that because I think for some of them, there got to be some level of attraction there. But I think for more of them, it's about the situation, the fucking setting. It's not. I never saw no weird shit. Now it's not to say. I will say this. Now I'll make this clear. When people go in the fucking fantasy realm, don't nobody know what the fuck they doing. Nobody knows what the fuck is going on because ain't nobody allowed to see what's going on in there, except for based on whatever the fucking fantasy that they want to do with who the fuck ever that they agreed upon, and only those people know about whatever the fuck that is when they go in there, and they get that 10 or 15 minutes. Anything could be going on because that's the only place where whatever, and that is made clear when dudes going over the rules. But what the fuck they doing now? But for those people, that shit is like a fucking activity. It is strongly no. Like I watched a dude. I'm sitting. I'm gonna try to paint this picture as much as possible. I'm sitting. There was this one room that had like, and I'm not even over exaggerating. It had like 6 beds in this one room, and I'm sitting on a bed in the corner. Uh, this guy finished doing whatever. I'm sitting on the bed. Um, so Shorty and her friend sitting on the side of me. I'm not sitting in between them. Both of them sitting on the side of me. She's sitting on her lap. He's sitting on the side of me. So I finished. I'm sitting on the end of the bed. On the bed next to us is it's a, it's the one of the dudes, the dude that run the shit, slaughtering dude, this other dude, white, and he just standing. Hey, this nigga doing all types of tricks over there on that fucking bed. He done picked her up, all kinds of shit. And he just standing there. Now, in my mind, I am looking at him, and I know that I knew in that moment. I knew in that moment that that wasn't his idea. I knew in that moment, looking at that man's face, that this is not something that he signed up for, which is leading me to my next point. And I'm not saying that this is a universal thing. I'm not saying it at all. I want to make that clear. I'm not saying that I'm speaking for everybody. Based upon my experience and the people that I met, most of the people in that group and in the other group that was more diverse. And especially in that group that was more diverse. Story for another day with that particular group. Because you talking about some. Anyway, more often than not, especially for that particular group, and a few of those people in that particular group, um, is earlier on, what you find, what the the couple that runs it is two couples that run it, but the main couple that runs it, um, they always when you first meet them, they tell a story of how it started and da da. And he talks about how she brought that the idea to him, and not of the group, because that's not how their shit started. Not the idea of the group, not like the situation that I was. Me and that person wasn't even, you know what I mean, rocking and rolling like that. That was just, you know what I'm saying? But she brought it to him. And he said it and he made it clear, which I respect dude even still to this day for even saying it. It's like when he first brought it to me, like it job pissed me off a little bit. But over time, as you thinking about it, ended up doing it. And he, I don't know if she know this, but he said this when this part when it was just us guys. I think we was bowling or some shit. He said he ended up doing it. He ended up just saying, you know what, fuck it, we can um because where this is, if I don't do it, where this is going to lead to, we we're going to end up doing something similar anyway because she going to end up stepping out with somebody else. And I'm going to end up stepping out with somebody else. So why not just open all the doors up? I mean, and uniquely to that experience, most of them, I don't even want to say a few of the men that was involved in that group that I met around these parts. In the other places, I didn't get to know a lot of those people, a lot of the men, because I didn't go to too many of the meet and greets in those other places. But I did go to the parties in those other places. I didn't get to conversate with a lot of the people outside of Kentucky and Cincinnati and down here. Outside of that, the other places I didn't really politic and network. Nobody else hear their story, none of that shit. Most wish I was if I was creating content back then. Well, I wish it would have been a beautiful. Even though, you know what I mean. Like I said, the next time I'm about to end this, but the next time you out somewhere random, look around, look around. You see a group of people, couples, men and women, no matter what race, might not be what you think it is. It might not be what you think it is. You'll be surprised. And for those people, so everybody know, to tie this up in a bow, it is not mentally. They don't look at it like you do. They have totally separated themselves from attaching that act to anything having to do with love. And honestly, like to be honest, like in that experience, like I still carry that with me because As humans, we force ourselves. I'm gonna make sure I say this as right as I can. But who gives a fuck? Who, as humans, we run across people every day that we're attracted. Every fucking day. People run across people that are attracted to you. So whether they're in a relationship, not in a relationship, uh, doesn't matter. People see people that they find fucking attractive and try to act like they don't, but they fucking do. And that particular action has nothing to do with how somebody feels about somebody. The only reason, the only reason why some people don't is because they know it will hurt the other person. The only reason why. That doesn't mean they don't want to. That's two different things. Out of love, they love you enough not to hurt you to do it because they know it will hurt. And to that's the only part in theory that has anything to do with that word. Other than that, the, that actual act, the exercise of the human body has nothing to do with any of that other shit. And trust me, I know the new wave say you got to be careful about the spirits that you let into your body, who you lay down with, and all this other shit. You can spend 5 years with a fucked up human being. What the fuck are we talking about? Like people just say shit just to be saying it. Like you could be in a relationship with most people don't know. Most people really don't know any of the people that they surround themselves with. That includes family. That includes people that they say they love. You really don't know the shit that that person is into. You really don't. And if they was ever honest in it, and the reason why people not is because of how people judge. And a lot of times, the main people judging are the ones that's fucked up. I've said this 1,000 times before. People would be surprised as hell if they saw and looked at the closest person to them porn search history. And I'm not talking about the shit that you and your significant other watch together. I ain't talking about that. That's something totally different. It's not the same thing. You ever saw that shit? It probably will fuck you up. Most men would fucking would probably have a nervous breakdown if they knew if their significant other was honest with them about what her fantasy actually is. It would fuck them up. She was really honest about what her fantasy is, what she really be thinking about, what she really would like to happen. Now, granted, some shit should just stay a fucking fantasy. Some shit should just stay that way. Like it's shit that I am when it comes to um relationships and that act. I am very deliberate, right? Like I have enough self control to understand what the outcome of something could be if somebody is not mentally prepared for a certain type of experience. Because a lot of shit can be said in the heat of the moment. People can think they want something until the shit happens. So even the times, the very few times where I have been involved in before the group shit, even after involved in threesomes and shit like that, I have not, outside of that experience with that particular person, because it was brought to me. Person was already down for the crown in the first place. So hey, who am I not to oblige? You want me to do what? You want to watch me do what? Okay, bet. I got you. But under any other circumstances, it would have been no. Like if me and that person was in a like a legitimate romantic, supposedly monogamous relationship, I would have never did that. Wouldn't have happened. Only because I know and understand what the end result of that would have been after the fact. And more than likely the effect that would have had on their relationship. But under those circumstances, it wouldn't have been. I mean, but anyway, if I wasn't making myself clear with that in part, the point that I'm making with that shit is people don't know. As much as people sit around, and a lot of people do this. I send this shit every day, especially with the shit that's going on now. Especially with the trial shit. Even though nobody's gonna say none of the shit that people was saying originally is even involved in this trial. But that's a whole nother conversation. But, like it's shit y'all should go to jail for. But right now, as we stand, should have got locked up for whipping her ass. But right now, as we stand, we've seen two addicts doing some freaky shit. That's what we done saw. Man, I'm from fucking Baltimore. Dope fiends do that shit all day long. Fucking we talk anyway. I'm gonna the fuck up out of here. Said I I don't even know if I can even remotely. Um, I gotta see. Talk to somebody first. I gotta see, as I don't know. I don't think I can speak about the other group. That one I don't think I can speak about at all in any capacity. I gotta find out. The other one, it was no non-disclosure agreement, none of that shit. Everybody understood that people was gonna go out their way to, your what you do in your personal life is your fucking personal life, and the people that choose to participate in it. Anybody that's willing to hold that over somebody, like you there too, like the fuck, like you there too, like so if you wanna, so I would never say people names and no shit like that. I wouldn't do that. But the other shit, you had to sign shit to even be a part of it, and that was a more diverse group, but it was smaller than the other group. The other group was big as fuck. It was the first one I was a part of was big. It had people, members everywhere. Wasn't a city where they didn't have members with an established set in the group. I'm saying set like it's a gang, but That's the only thing that I could kind of compare it to. So in Atlanta, they would have a um couple, two couples that was the extension of the group to do things there, da da. And then um every so often the everybody would try to get together in the same place, if that makes sense. So that's kind of how it works. So Florida, any place you can fucking think of. Now, I will say this: these things don't take place at your little Motel Six or fucking in the city somewhere. They don't take place in places like that. They don't take place. They don't take place there. That's not where they're not. You're not going to see them. You're not going to see them wherever they end up getting the Airbnb or renting or somebody's property that they know. Because I swear one of those places felt like it was made for that shit. Because why the fuck would it be 6 to 8 beds in one room? That shit felt like it was. That shit felt like it was designed for that shit. I don't know, and it was a couple of places like that, but that one in particular, like a lot of rooms had more than just two beds. A lot of, lot of, no beds and shit downstairs. It was a a bedroom downstairs in most of the houses, because it's always those, those type of houses. But anyway, next time y'all see a group out, yeah, it might not be what y'all think. I'm gonna find out if I could talk about the other one. I'm not sure though. I'm not sure. So I know we all had to sign some dumbass shit, and it's because of um. Not to say that it wasn't. It was some people in the other group that was, you know, um, it was politician. Anybody would know, um, unless you from those areas. But the other one, the smaller one, had some people involved that people would know. I will say that they would know. Like if they saw oh shit. Like if I said that name, oh what the fuck? Yeah, yeah. That fucking group, fuck that group. That was nah. I was good on that. Like, nope, uh-uh, nah. Got motherfuckers beating on motherfuckers. Not, mm-mm, not me. Nobody stepping on my nuts. Nope, not doing it. Ain't nothing fun about that. I don't know who the fuck was signing up for some shit like that. Want somebody to stand on your nuts for somebody. What the fuck type of time? I don't understand. Anyway, I'm gonna find out if I talk about that. Maybe at a later date I'll do it. I I haven't been I haven't been doing content as much as I used to, or even the limited time over the last year and a half now, only because I don't like the the place that independent media is. I don't like it. I don't like it, and I don't even want to be a part of it right now until I can figure out a way to be way different than everybody else. To be honest, like even though I know that this platform is somewhat different in the way that I choose to cover hip hop, but the shit is, and it ain't even just about hip hop media. It's media in general, independent media in general. The the fact that the same people, everybody complains about the the mainstream media, national media, not telling the truth or lying or whatever the fuck it is. And dude, fucking content creators, big, small, medium, whatever the fuck they, worse than them. Because at least they got certain guidelines they have to go by. Like they have to go by certain shit. You niggas don't. Y'all just be making up shit. Half of that shit y'all be saying ain't even true. And the fucked up thing about it is the people that's watching it don't even realize that shit ain't true. I mean, making up shit. I literally saw somebody a little while ago. This is like last year or some shit. Put up paperwork. It was legitimate paperwork, but it wasn't from the case, the federal case, but they made like it. And I didn't realize it until a little while ago. I was just telling Dice this shit the other day because I was thinking when I seen it, I'm like, where the fuck did they get that from? Because that's not in the original indictment. None of that shit is in the original indictment. I always look at I don't go by shit nobody say on a fucking platform when I can just go read the paperwork myself. I can just go pull this shit up, look at it, keep it moving. Right? I'm like, where the fuck are they getting that from? Because I can see that the paperwork is real. Like I can see that. I can see the stamp. I can see that it's real. But where the fuck did that come from? And then I found out it ain't even from the indictment. It's not even from this case. It's from the fucking civil. It's from the civil suit. But that's the shit that confuses people. Because the average person that listened to these content creators talk about certain shit didn't know that half of that shit was coming from the civil cases. And it's a difference. It, I'm not even going to get into the what and the who did. I'm not even going. I'm not going to do that. I just want people. Y'all see this. Ask yourself when you look at the original indictment. When you look at the things that the person is being charged with, ask yourself why isn't any of the stuff that people were saying originally and the stuff that's in the civil suit is not in the indictment. Just ask yourself that. Even if you don't know, even if you don't want to go through finding out. This is a federal RICO. This is a federal RICO. This is not state shit. This is federal. You don't think if the feds didn't think that they could get the motherfucker on all that shit that everybody was saying for months that it wouldn't be in the original indictment? What do we? we talking about? It is not even a in like I don't like the motherfucker neither. But that don't have nothing to do with putting shit on somebody that they're not even charging them with. Civil and federal and state is totally two different things. In a lawsuit, they go by what's called, and I'm hoping I'm saying this correct, an abundance of evidence. Is this likely that it happened? So the more evidence that you can produce leads to the opinion that this is more likely that this happened. But you know what happened in those civil cases? Did, you know what happened in those civil cases? Majority of them got thrown the fuck out. But you don't hear not one person, not one, big, small, not one talking about that. They still talking about fictional shit that's not even being talked about at fucking trial. Like a motherfucker or not, I don't give a fuck about any of that. Because this ain't got nothing to do with the fucking person. And that's the part that people need to get out their way. Yeah, it fucked up. Yeah, what the fuck ever. Yeah, fucked up person. Yeah. But when we're talking about, you know what, it don't matter. It it don't matter. Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody cares. It's obvious nobody cares because people sit around and they regurgitate that shit. I'm listening to people at work say this shit that they didn't heard on these platforms, and I'm like, yo, that's not true. What the fuck are you talking about? But such and such. Like you can look at the indictment is public, nigga, and they said, see, it is a large amount of people that are not going to look for the information themselves. They don't trust the mainstream media, so they listen to us content creators. And for some reason, they honestly believe that us content creators are the ones telling the truth. When most of us content creators are worse than the mainstream media because at least they got rules they have to go by. They just can't lie on them. They just can't make up something. Y'all put y'all opinion out there and base it and make people feel like it's fact just because of however you feel about whoever the fuck it's about. Fuck out of here. That's not how this thing's supposed to work. But on the flip side of it, most don't know. Nobody ever went to school for this shit, but gotta have some type of integrity. You know you lying. You know you're lying. You know that's not accurate. Or, you know what? I'll play devil's advocate with myself. Maybe, just maybe, this is a shot in the dark. Maybe The average person doesn't realize that it's a difference between the evidence and how evidence is looked at in a civil suit compared to a lawsuit. And because of the reason why we even hear at this juncture with this particular case stems from the first civil suit, maybe that's why people believe the shit that was said in the original civil suit. But the only civil suit that ever stood was from the first person who was on the stand. Because that's the whole reason why this case even was able to be tried. And the reason why the T word is in there, trafficking is in there, because once they pass the law, I want to. Everybody need to understand this. Everybody need to know this part very clearly because this is very important. Everybody has to know this. The minute they pass the law to say that there is no statute of limitation on a trafficking case, as long as that is attached to a case, anything done previously based around it to that person that points to that person's character can be used in court. I'm out of here. I'll catch y'all next time.